Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation is the 19th Pauri of War Rag Maj Mahalla Pehla. Slok Mahalla Pehla. Pahira Agan Hivai Ghar Badha, Bhojan Sar Karai, Sagle Dukh Pani Kar Pima, Tarti Haak Chalai, Dar Taraji Ambar Toli, Piche Tank Chadai, Eved Vadda Mawa Nahi, Sabse Nath Chalai, Eta Taan Hove Man Andari, Kari Se Bhi Aakh Karai, जेवड़ साहिब तेवड़ दाती दे दे करे रजाई नानक नदर करे जिस ऊपर सच नाम वडाई महला दूजा आखण आख न रज्जिया सुन न रज्जे कन अखीं देख न रज्जियां गुण गाहक इक वन भुखियां भुख न उतरै गली भुख न जाए नानक भुखा तां रज्जै जां गुण कह गुणी समाए पौड़ी विण सच्चे सब कूड़ कूड़ कमाईऐ विण सच्चे कुड़ियार भन चलाईऐ विण सच्चे तन छार छार रलाईऐ विण सच्चे सब दुख जे भेजे पखाईऐ विण सच्चे दरबार कूड़ न पाईऐ कूड़े लालच लग महल खुआईऐ सब जग ठगयो ठग आइए जाइए तन मह तृष्णा अग शब्द बुझाइए. So the first salok in this passage is addressed evidently to the siddhas, the yogis, because they have been addressed quite consistently and their desire for extraordinary powers has been criticized again and again, and here that theme seems to occur again. Pahira Agan Hivai Ghar Badha, Bhojan Sar Karai. If I wore clothes of fire, or if I lived in a house of ice, and if I ate iron for my food, if I swallowed all my pain like water, and if I could drive the earth, Tarti Haak Chalai, if I could drive it like I would an animal, Dar Taraji Ambar Toli Piche Tank Chadai, if I could place the sky on a scale and balance it with a small weight, tank. What that really means is if I could just balance it with one finger. And if I were to expand, Eved Vada, Mawa Nahi, that I could not be contained, Sabse Nath Chalai, and if I had the strength to bend everyone's will, to lord over everyone. Itta taan hove man andar, kari bhi aakh karai. So if I had this kind of strength, even if I did have all of these strengths and I could do all of these things, the Guru is cautioning us to remind us that even all of this would come from the Master. Jevad Sahib Tevad Dati Dede Kare Rajai. As is the Master, so are its gifts, given as it wills. Says Nanak, those who are so graced receive the gift of self-knowledge. So in other words, compared to all of these things that have been listed out, all of these occult powers that the siddhas are after, the gift of self-knowledge, Naam. Nanak nadar kare jis upar, sache naam vadiyai. So all of that doesn't matter. What matters is self-realization, Naam, knowledge of the self, intuitive awareness of the self. That's a knowledge. That is what trumps everything else. And then Mahalla Duja talks about the qualities of the senses, because it is the senses that eventually mislead us. And he says, Akhana Rajiyan Sunan na raje kan. So the mouth never tires of speaking. Similarly, the ears are never exhausted from hearing, and the eyes don't tire from seeing. Why? Because gun gahak ikkavan, each organ has its own sensory quality. That's what they are meant to do. And then pukhya pukhana uttare gali pukhana jai. So in other words, you have these sensory organs with their functions that they are designed to do. For instance, you can't appease the hunger of the hungry by mere words. And this hunger, which is innate, he's not talking about physical hunger, he's talking about the hunger that stems from desire. Nanak pukha taan rajai. How? Ja gun keh guni samai. Gun keh, meaning to express qualities, so you have to assimilate those qualities, and guni samai is to become like that, to become an embodiment of qualities, of divine qualities and virtues. And of course, the emphasis again in the Pauri section is on self-knowledge. What is being said is that vin sache sab kood kamaiye. So if one is acting out of the perspective of self-centeredness, everything that we are doing is fruitless. Kood kamaiye. The gains that we make don't last. That's what is meant by kood. It's all fleeting, impermanent. That's kood. Without self-knowledge, the self-centered are driven away. From where? From achieving a unitary consciousness. And without self-knowledge, the body is just a heap of dust. It goes back to dust. In other words, if you don't have the right perspective, the perspective from the perch of the self, you're not going to appreciate the body, because the body is an apparatus that is meant to be used. But if you don't have the right perspective, you're more than likely to misuse or abuse the body. And without being centered in self-knowledge, satisfaction can never be obtained. Vin sache sab pokhaja peje khaiye. Without this, no matter what you consume, no matter how much you consume, without self-knowledge, satisfaction cannot be obtained. You'll never feel fulfilled. And that is because our attachments tie us down and we lose that experience of acting from the domain of the self. Kure lalach lag mehel khwaya. We have lost access to that domain of the self because we are caught up. We are caught up in the moment. Sab jag thagyo thag aya jaya. So it is not just us, the whole world actually has been deceived by Maya and is caught in a self-perpetuation. That means we are constantly repeating that mistake. We are caught in cause and effect, in creation and destruction. We do not have the perspective from the self, and therefore we get consumed by the fire of desire that rages within the body. Tan mein trishna ag. So the Guru advises us, a-sabad-a-day bujhaya. Quench that fire through the discourse of the enlightener, the Shabad. That is the way to actually appease the hunger within, the desire, the fire of desire, to bring it under control, and then to utilize it for the greater good. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.